Hello everyone, I'm glad to see you here. Today we have two different stories, one from a victim and the other one from an actual catfish. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe. We talk about catfishes, romance scammers, and read some Reddit stories. The first one is called I Got Catfished.
Hello, I'm new here but I wanted to share my story and also be able to get it off my chest, as it's quite embarrassing and I don't really have anyone I can talk to about it. So, I met someone on an app early May. Once we got to talking, I found we had so much in common and I really enjoyed talking to him. We had spoken every single day on WhatsApp and with voice notes, and he had sent selfies, which I had asked but would never do a video call. He said he was really insecure and too anxious. Having severe anxiety myself, I told him I understood. He said he worked from home, had quite a bit of money, a car, traveled a lot, lived 90 minutes away from me. He was an exceptional liar, manipulator, and gaslighter. None of that was true.
If he said he had anxiety so he couldn't video chat but he travels all over meeting people in the process, make that make sense. I understand why OP didn't see some of those red flags because you tend to rationalize what they say to you. Remember, you don't go around life thinking everyone is a scammer. At least you shouldn't.
I knew something was wrong. I felt it in my gut. But every time I question a red flag or something I felt was off, I'll be manipulated into thinking it was my BPD acting up, which will cause explosive arguments, when in reality, the whole time, I was right.
So to keep the lie, he will blame OP's mental illness. Nice. And for sure, it's interesting because the reasons they are catfishing is that they are not happy with their current self. So they have to create a new persona to blend and be liked. But only their emotions are important. The rest, the victims, are just useful tools for the catfish to feel important.
End of July came around and I was tired of feeling like something wasn't right. So I reverse imaged the pics, which I found there were screenshots from websites. As soon as I confronted him about it, he blocked me. He did end up giving me closure as to who he really was and why he did it. But it severely messed me up. I fell for his personality but someone else's face.
No, you did not fall for him at all. That personality that attracted you was all fabricated. Everything was a lie. He probably created this man based on what you liked and disliked about a person. He tailored himself around you, and every time you saw a red flag, he will try to save himself by attacking your mental illness. He is not looking for a connection, he is looking for validation.
I found the person who the selfies belong to on Facebook and he is in a relationship and recently had a baby. It was a kick to the stomach seeing that, to say the least.
I hope you told him the pictures are being used to catfish people because he is also a victim in this mess. Can you imagine one day the wife finds out the husband is on multiple dating sites talking to other women? Meanwhile, the real dude is dedicated to his marriage? That is horrifying. His marriage can be in jeopardy because of the catfish.
There were times we spoke about a future together and he fully played along. For 3 months, I dreamt of someone I fell for who doesn't even know I exist. Looking back, I feel so stupid. I spent 4 years healing from a horrible relationship just to be caught in this mess and having to heal again. My trust issues have skyrocketed and I am paranoid, anxious, and feeling on edge all the time. It hurts still.
I think your previous relationship had a lot to do with what happened here. Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough time to understand and come to terms with why our relationship didn't work out. So when we find another partner, there could be a chance we are now forming a pattern. We are looking for a relationship that resembles the previous one unbeknownst to us. By the way, you did nothing wrong here. As I said before, we don't go around thinking people are going to scam us. So OP was sincere about her feelings, but unfortunately that was not reciprocated. Don't fall into paranoia nor start distrusting everyone around you. Do introspect about your previous relationship and this one as well. Something pulled you into the catfish even though you saw those red flags. I'm telling you, you will learn a lot about yourself once you understand what attracted you to this type of people, and at the same time, why did those relationships fail? Spend some quality time by yourself, remembering and maybe getting an epiphany. Wishing you the best on this one OP. Best of luck. This next story is called Catfishing Since I Was 12.
I have never told this to anybody, but I am just typing all this down because I realize how stupid this all is. I never catfished as other people, but rather faked everything about myself, bio, face, body, etc.
That's catfishing as other people. This is something a lot of catfish say. Everything was real, but my face, my work, the place I live. That's not true. They have to create a story to avoid video chatting, meeting in person, and sometimes talking on the phone. I mean, I'm glad you're coming clean, but I feel, and this is only a feeling, you are not being truthful with yourself about the role you played in all of this, nor the reasons why it happened. But let's continue.
I didn't first appear online as a catfish. I used to talk to people normally and be myself, but they were never too surreal. To be fair, I was 12, and I don't know who will have meaningful connections with a little kid, but I thought that obviously it was because I wasn't pretty and perfect enough.
This is another perfect example on how the internet can be a dangerous place when you are a kid. Not only did this child morph the way they see themselves because they thought they were not worthy, but also put themselves in harm's way by seeking validation in a virtual world full of predators looking for gullible kids.
So catfishing became a way I would get to be the ideal girl I thought everyone would like and be friends with. It was fun. I liked being able to talk to people and have them compliment me. I was around 12 then, but it's been 5 years since then, and I don't know if I will ever leave this. I have found many friends through this, and I'm scared eventually I won't be able to differentiate my real life with what I pretend to be online.
I will be interested to know if the lies she told her friends were superficial, like hair color and pictures, or if she pumped her life a little too much. Enough for her friends to, once they know the truth, either forgive her because those lies were non-important ones, or ghost her because she did lie about who she really is. I think it's the last one. But now OP cannot stop or doesn't know how to stop. That became pathological. This girl needs professional help.
Honestly, the lines are so blurred that I rarely talk to my in-real-life friends outside of school and opt to live in the fantasy I have created online. This is all done subconsciously, but that makes it worse, to be honest. I don't typically engage in romantic relationships in either in person or online, but I met this guy while catfishing and I've honestly never liked someone this much before. I just know that I will never feel this strongly for anyone, ever. I wish I never met him and that I just lived normally. I regret ever even going on the internet. I know that since I've been catfishing for a while, it's funny to want real relationships while actively lying. This is what I made myself familiar to, and I genuinely don't know how to stop and be done with it for good. I stay up hours talking to him and ignore real life for his attention online.
And there it is. His attention. OP wants attention. Something she's probably craving on her in real life relationships. She is the one who sees herself as unworthy. Probably the people around her wants to have a connection with her, but she pushes them away. She's still very young, but she also has to understand that the guy she is currently talking to and catfishing has feelings. And as horrible as it sounds, he is wasting his time. She is wasting everyone's time, even her own. She's thinking only on herself. I don't know if this is a case of online teen angst or if this became a bigger monster to tackle. Regardless, all of this needs to be organized with the help of a professional.
I have ruined my own perception of reality, and I guess I am aware of this, hence the rant, lol, but yet, I keep going back to it. I have become attached to my persona because without her I would just be me, and I don't like that. Haha, I hope I stop soon, I am losing my mind.
Yes, and at the very beginning of her post, she told us how she lied just about how she looked, but now it's a whole new persona she created for herself. She's not being honest and doesn't want to let go of that life. OP, you need to find your self-worth. You need to have a good long conversation with a therapist to tell you the next steps you can take to move forward with your life as yourself. There are a lot of forums you can lurk if you want to. Some of them are filled with people like you who are addicted to catfishing people and don't know how to stop. Seek your real-life connections and ask for help. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. It can also make those relationships stronger. They can help you move on. You just have to open that door you thought it was best to keep closed. And we have one comment right here.
I found myself in a very similar position when I was around your age. The trauma I was going through in real life was an alcoholic parent, school pressure and low self-worth were too much to cope with, and so like you, I found a beautiful escapism in building myself a new life online. I found genuine friendships and the first love of my life through catfishing. The person suggesting that childhood crushes aren't true love is extremely ignorant of other people's life experiences.
I guess they say that because a child's mind is not contaminated yet with some adult stuff. You know, it's not the same, but that doesn't make it less real. Falling in love as a child is falling in love, period. Now, love is built out of so many things, one of them being trust. If there is no trust, there could be no love. And in this case, you didn't trust them with the truth about yourself. You needed to feel validated, and they were the perfect tool for that. But what you thought was love wasn't. You were lying to someone to make yourself feel better. That's not very lovable. Another important thing love has is respect. Lying to someone is not being respectful. I think that's what the comments were trying to tell.
I met my first love at 14 on the internet, and as a 30-year-old married adult, I can tell you, it was indeed a soul-shattering love. I tell you all this so that you know your lived experiences are entirely valid, and random anonymous comments on Reddit cannot change that.
This is a very selfish way of thinking. Sure, the feelings are valid, but how did those feelings come to be? Using deception. Both of you used other people to make yourself feel good. Just because you had a tough childhood, which I'm sorry, by the way, doesn't give you a free pass to use other people's lives.
Going forward, you have some difficult conversations ahead of you. I was eventually outed from my catfishing, and looking back, the thing that actually drove the wedge was the lies and my own lack of self-confidence. If I had taken ownership of my story, explain and apologize on my own terms, and more than that, learn to be comfortable with myself, well, the story may have had a very different ending. Heal yourself and be honest with your online connections. Own your story.
100% agree. The lies are there and cannot be erased, but it can be fixed. And for that, you have to tell the truth. Like this comment said, they could have had a good ending, but they didn't have the opportunity. You might. I'm glad to hear you are now a married adult who move on with your life. There's a way to do it and you found it. Hopefully OP will do the same as well. Again, this is a teenager who's probably very confused, but according to them, there are some real connections they can lean on. Best of luck to everyone involved here, and remember, in our relationship, there are two people. If one of them is lying to heal their self-esteem, that relationship is no more. What do you think about these stories? Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. It really helps. I hope you had a wonderful day or night, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.